Hello, my friends. What's going on? Welcome to Saturday night. We are live on a Saturday night. Raj Bryce is here already. Thank you for being here and showing support. As always, I appreciate it. Hopefully your night is going well. We're going to be listening to some music and just chatting about things. A number of new subscribers may be online and available, so I figured I'd give them a chance to jump in, say their piece, make more than comments. And tonight we're starting out with some deadmau5, some pretty relaxing and comforting music, to be honest. And I've been all about that comfort today. It's an interesting dynamic right now. A number of things are changing and happening. I've been in contact with a number of brands trying to explore some other audio options. I need to secure my 2025 plan. It's going to be very interesting with upcoming changes. As I mentioned at the end of my previous video that I posted online, at the end, I will be hosting someone in my family who needs a place to stay. So they're going to be taking over. Basically, they're going to be staying in this room as their bedroom, and we're trying to work out a plan so that I can keep doing what I'm doing and keep the production up while I'm being accommodating as possible. As you all know, family is first, and I had to step up in order to do this. Without giving away too many details, it's a sensitive situation which I can't share details about. But it is family, and I have felt like I had to do the right thing. So that's what's going on in the next little while. And I'm hoping that I can maintain this space to keep doing this on a schedule, because that's what's been supporting me and pushing me forward. And I've been gaining a lot of success. And obviously, there's quite a bunch of stuff around here, including the Gaia acoustics and ISO acoustic stuff that I have to demo on the towers. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of new stuff, and I'm hoping that everybody joins me on that journey. So Scott and Kat are here. What's up, man? Stopping by for a few. Thank you very much for being here. I always appreciate it, and showing up for the lives is what we do. A number of interesting things to do with the bass today. Let me flip this camera real quick. We'll get my other lens on there. So these do have two passive radiators on the box, and I'm actually crossing them over with the subs at about 70 hertz because my room creates this really boomy sort of sound, and I'm using the subwoofers and phase control in order to take away the boominess. They still sound boomy to a degree, and based on where I'm sitting, and an equilateral triangle between them, so it's 7 feet between and then 7 feet to my ears. There's nothing really I can do about the 50 hertz, 47 hertz bump, but I'm trying to use the subs and phasing to give myself a more balanced sort of sound. And it's been really interesting learning about these Clarity 6.2s and balancing them out with the subwoofers and all the rest of this stuff. And like everything in audio, it's a journey, and we learn as we go, and this is what I'm dealing with. So I like that view is my favorite. I try to get my swords in the shots at all times. I don't know if it's just me or if it's entertaining, or at least one. There we go. So this is most likely going to get thrown to the copyright giants. And yeah, this deadmau5 song is definitely going to be demonetized. Get myself demonetized. But yeah, Scott's saying you gotta love stuff in that room now, like a electronics store. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. I mean, I got the Bucart A10s on the floor, the Kef R3 Metas on the floor, the Orchard Audio, which I own, the Arendals, which I own, the Clarity 6.2s I'm borrowing, and then the Kanto YU5 passives, Monolith, SVS, the ISO acoustic stuff there for the subwoofers and the towers. Yeah, man, I'm a lucky boy. I don't have anything to complain about. I honestly respect and appreciate these reps and these brands, and some of them engineers that are trusting me to lend me some gear and give me a chance to listen to this stuff for a while. So yeah, I'm super grateful, and that's why I choose to make as many videos as I do, because I don't want it to be all for me. I'm not selfish. I really believe that we're a community that grows because of our sharing and our, as you say, bringing us all together. And part of doing that for me is sharing whatever I have, talking about the journey, talking about what I learned, sharing in each other's success, sharing each other's videos and links, things like that. That rising tides raises all ships, and it only works if we're doing the activities rather than just talking about it. I hear a lot of people say supportive things, but I often don't see, or at least I don't recognize where the activity is. So you know how it is. Talk is cheap, and I like to own up to what's going on. And yeah, let's put on some other music. Let's get some jazzy stuff in the background. Actually, let's put Sincato on in the background. He's been a really, really cool dude about sharing his music and stuff like that. So I'm going to put some of his stuff on in the background. And yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot of new things going on lately. I've talked about pretty much everything that I own, everything that's in-house. I did a number of videos earlier talking about the measurements and how my microphones weren't all that great. So let me flip this. So I figured I would just come on live, just say hello, talk to the friends, fans, the number of videos I put out. The number of videos that I put out about the Clarity Acoustics 6.2s, the sound demo, it wasn't what I hoped for. It's actually recording on the phone that I'm using now. So this phone, for whatever reason, the microphones are muted. So I recorded another video today on the DJI mic with the DJI camera. I have to load this video, which isn't loaded yet. I did post another roughly 4-minute video on Facebook, which maybe I can load also to YouTube as a comparison. But that's the interesting thing about sound demos online for audio, is that most people that know and understand how the audio world works is whatever you're hearing online is a combination of the microphones, the room that I'm in, plus the device or speakers that you're using, so that from end to end to end, each of the changes in signal path gives it another character. So it's further away from the real signal every time it switches to something. And there's a lot of changes that happen between there. YouTube compression, device compression, the DAC or equipment on either end changes the color, so it's really, really inaccurate. The unfortunate part is there are some things that you can do and some recordings that actually sound better. If you're using dedicated mics, that's an improvement. If you use a different kind of compression with the audio and a different sort of production finishing, then you can improve the sound, but it still doesn't relay the sound of the devices that you're recording. It still doesn't showcase the sound of the speakers as great as it could. So what I learned by doing the ABC in my room is a certain process of it. It wasn't necessarily that I was going to get accurate sound, but that I wanted to walk through the process myself and see how it was done, see how I could do it, see what it sounded like for me versus what it sounded like in the video. Now, I've never A/B compared all 6 speakers, and it gave me an impression while I was in the room. I did it sort of level matched, and I think I got it right, but I think there's maybe a dB.5 swing between some of them, which is unfortunate because in a way, like, the clarities have this very nice signature. The Bucart audio also with the Purify woofers has a very clean sort of sound. The KEF R3 Metas is a different animal because it's a three-way. Their concentric design actually presents the sound in a different kind of way. So it's not really like, it's more like apples to oranges to bananas rather than apples to apples to apples. Someone pointed out that the KEFs being a three-way, the Clarities being a two-way with passive radiators, the SVS, Kanto, and Monolith they're all ported designs. The Bucard Audio A10 is a sealed with its own amp and DSP. So none of them are the same. They're all sort of like different. That made no sense. But it works, trust me. My audio math is good. It makes sense, trust me. Yeah. I enjoy doing the sound demos. I enjoy listening to them online as well. And there are few people that do the sound demos really well. And I think that what I learned using the phone as the microphones is that at a certain distance, like maybe if I was closer to them, or the position in my room, it didn't capture as much as I hoped. So I may have to change its position, maybe test a different way. I might have to use like I have DJI microphones that I can pair to the device so it records in stereo. And if I set those microphones up a meter away on axis in front of the speakers, so you can see the microphones like in the front of the camera, maybe that will help clear up the sound. Maybe it'll capture them a little bit better. But as I stated at the beginning of the video, I will be sharing this space with family soon. They need somewhere to stay for a while, an undetermined amount of time. I need to make do, and we need to figure out that situation. I feel like I'll still be able to make some videos. We're going to compromise on the space and make it work as best as possible. I have no problem changing things around, however negotiated that situation may be. If I have to move kind of everything to another space, I can do that, but that will be after a discussion. Now, this might not happen until later next week, so it'll be most of the winter into maybe next summer. I'm guessing the bigger part of a year. But it is what it is, and I'm honored to do that and do my part as best as I can. If situations change, it changes. However the needs arise, but it's something I have to do. I am hoping and banking on situations where it won't change my show coverage. I keep turning up and down the volume. Sorry about that. I have a remote here. I can actually just use that instead. My show coverage is usually Toronto Audio Fest in October. Capital Audio Fest is happening this weekend, and I wish I was there, but I didn't get any kind of photography media invites from any brands to do exclusives. I also didn't sell myself very well. I didn't ask if anybody really wanted any content shot. I should have. I'm really bad at marketing myself. I sort of need an agent, like a press agent, to help put me in front of these opportunities. Just ADHD. I'm good with certain things, but certain planning long term, not so good at. Like going to school for philosophy instead of like becoming a millwright or a welder. I could have made a lot more money doing a thing that I planned for rather than just going to school for something that I enjoyed. It's just planning. I'm being really transparent here because, hey, shit, half of the channel is about psychology and we all have something going on. So let's not pretend that we're not people. Yeah, so the bigger part of the year, Montreal Audio Fest is in March, but Florida Audio Fest is sometime in February, and I'm really, really hoping that I can get in touch with the right people to head down to Florida this year or next year, 2025. Do Florida, do Montreal, do Expona in April. There's another show. I believe there's a different show happening in Vegas in January. That's a different kind of community. And then June, there's another one in California. In July, I'm not sure if there's a show anywhere. But then August through September, I know that there is like the Texas or Lone Star audio show, Pacific audio show. So there's really like, there's a show almost every month. And in order for me to get time off work, work around the accommodations of my apartment and having someone staying here, it's a lot of going around. And every one of these shows is going to cost like thousands. So I don't know how much is really on the table from any brands or doing any kind of work that's going to enable me to afford me the tickets and the travel and the hotels. And it's a lot. There's a lot of money involved in just getting to the shows. That's not making money. That's not me coming away with anything in my pocket. That's just getting there. And likely being in the negative because I have to take time off work. So if I calculated all of the ins and outs, my time off work, my travel, my work, all of that stuff, yeah, we're easily talking thousands per show. And I really don't know that what brands are looking for is going to get me that much money per show. Unless I shoot photos and video and interviews and like behind the scenes, and if I do multiple videos for like multiple brands and each of them can give me a little bit, then I'll be over the top. But like I said, I don't have an agent. I don't know how to do that. Scott's saying, if you do Expona, I'll come up and grab you and bring you down for some demos. Yes, 100%. I'll let you know if Expona happens by any which way. However I can get down there, I'll let you know so that we can hook up and we can hang out for an evening or whatever it is, because the Expona show, I believe, is in Schaumburg Hotel, Renaissance Hotel, which is, I don't know how far, but certainly closer than I am now. So however much the drive is, I would definitely appreciate that, and we'll see what's going on. Yeah, and so much goes on behind the scenes, exactly. Like hearing about how much you and Jordan traveled and his perspective in the videos on like how much stuff to shoot and capture and record and then double check and then do your sound, and then you have to write scripts and notes for like capturing all the B-roll, and then you have to get it and then edit it all down, where I don't even have a computer or a laptop. I can't edit it on the go. So that's another setback. That's another, $1,000 and change in equipment. And then I'm only shooting a lot of my photos, as good as they are, they're only being taken on my phone. Like, I've become really, really good at shooting good content on my phone, but it's my phone. So it puts me at a little bit of a limitation if brands are looking for like higher res for stuff like magazines, websites. If it's just a social media, I think it's okay. But if they're looking for better than that, then it's two things. One, I need a lot more practice, but I also need to be able to afford that equipment. It's not cheap. Like, this creator bundle for the DJI cameras, which a lot of the creators have, mind you, most of them are sponsored. Most of them get paid by brands to do what they're doing. Whether their videos are sponsored or they tell you or not, they have sponsorships in their YouTube videos. So they're all getting a lot of money for stuff like that. I'm not getting anything. I don't have any money from anywhere other than my 9-to-5 job. Audio, to be honest, hasn't net me any money anywhere. It doesn't matter how many shows I've been to or how many magazines or whatever been published in. It hasn't put me in the black at all. All of my audio work has been put me in the negative. It cost me money to do this. Tripods, equipment, my cameras, storage space, hard drives for my computer, even the SD cards for my cameras. Like, it's like a $1,200, $1,500 camera. all of it costs a lot of money, and there's so many demands in the comment sections, like, oh, do this, your camera that, the mics sound like this, or this song, whatever. Like, look, I'm not a sponsored radio station, you know. This is a lot of work to do, and it's easy to just watch it and then make your case, but anybody who's not a creator, they're not on YouTube to actually make something, really don't understand. So as much as I wish that I could be there and I could come around and see my friends and travel, life's complicated. There's been a number of things going on. I have my health to think about. That costs a lot of money. The medication costs money. The appointments, treatments sometimes cost me time and money. If I'm off work, then I don't have a lot of money at the end of the month. This is turning into a completely different podcast or live session, but the point is, all the equipment, or half of the equipment that I have, I'm borrowing it. And that's not because of the work, but that's because I've spent 5 years in some cases getting to know the engineers and the people that are involved in making them, and they see how much work and passion I've put into my work. It's not resonating in a financial way. It's resonating in an opportunity way. And that really makes me feel a little wealthy, because not everybody gets to experience stuff like that. You don't just get invited to Florida and then get to hang out with Don Dunn at Audioholics on a whim, you know, like that happens because of work. My relationship with like Shelly Labs, they're in Florida as well. I went to hang out with them that year. It's all connected work, and it is a result of passion. I'm really hoping I can double down on that in the next year, 2025. I'm also hoping my channel reaches 25 subscribers by then too, so we'll see how that works. I have to keep dancing the dance and keep producing as much as I can, try to bring valuable content, and at least show up. I do things live like this so I can have the feedback. I want people to tell me how they're doing, what's going on with their system, if they have anything that they want to ask, if there's a clarification on something that they're curious about, nobody else is giving answers. If I can find that info, I will do that. I'm not as scripted, I'm not as orthodox. I don't have to plan out anything because it's all up here, and I function on basically an ADHD schedule. If I can think about it and I feel like doing it, it happens. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It means that I can produce a lot more content quicker, but it's not the same level of content, say, as Jordan at Haterade Cowboy or Jay-Z Augie. Like, they edit and plan it out, and they shoot all of the different things they need to tell a good story. I'm more like your friend that pops online every once in a while to say, hey, this is what I got going on. Here's my room. That's more like what I'm doing. And between all of us in the community, we're all providing a little bit of the puzzle. And I feel like the community benefits because it's not all the same type of news from every one of the reviewers, right? If you've seen the same speakers 20 or 30 times, does it really help you? Or would you rather see something different about them? I don't know. I prefer the different, but I'm always open to community feedback because, you know, hey, if it's not valuable to you, then there's not really a reason to produce it. I'm not just doing this for me. This is about a two-way thing. This is about me and the community and what you enjoy as well as what I enjoy. So we'll see how 2025 goes. I'm certainly excited about the future. I have a number of different things to demo in here, like I talked about. ISO acoustics on the towers, ISO acoustic pads on the subwoofers, which I could probably put on there now. I have both of them and the spikes, so I could maybe install those. It'll be a little bit awkward if I did it live, but maybe I'll do that in the next video. I'm gonna sip of my drink there. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm grateful. My other room, as many of you know, doesn't get a whole lot of love. This room as cool as it looks, I mean, I spent a lot of time actually making the shadows on the ceiling exactly the same. Um, I'm using the monolith towers. These are Encore T6 from my computer, which I know is ridiculous. Who has tower speakers at their computer? Fucking I do. And then the surrounds around the back, which you can't even see because it's too dark. And then my height channels, which is a whole other story. I'm not going to talk about that. I feel like if I talk too much about what I did for my height channels, people are going to steal it. But yeah, I have to work on both of these rooms quite a bit. And like I said, with money and schedule and opportunity, and you know what I mean? Like, it's not free. It takes many, many years to even get to this point. As much as I have, it's not, you know, it didn't come without hard work and dedication. So I say to a lot of people, if you really want it bad enough, you're gonna find a way to do it. Like, and that's the truth with all hobbies and passions and goals in life, is you have to set your goals. You have to know what you want definitively, find a way to understand those desires. Like, audio is the kind of thing that you have to listen to. There's no way around it. If I tell you 20 different positive things about the Arundel Towers and like 7 other people tell you that they're really great, it doesn't mean it's great for you. You might not like them at the end of the day. And for me, honestly, the next change for me is the idea of moving from towers to bookshelves and subs. And to be honest, maybe even the Arundel Towers are here just arbitrarily. I bought them and I own them, and I think they're fantastic. I don't know what I'm going to do. I like the idea of having bookshelves, given their space and ease to move around. I mean, shit, I have 6 pairs of bookshelves in here right now. And the subwoofers fill in the bottom end for the bookshelves like so well. So the idea of doing bookshelves and subs to me is a lot more appealing. I just like the way that it looks in room. It gives me more space. They end up sounding great. The positioning is easier. They're not as heavy. Moving the subs in a different space also helps to like balance the room out, because the speakers are capable. These will reach down to 40 hertz, 35 hertz in room, if not 30 hertz and a little bit lower, pretty easily if you position them correctly. I can hear it in my room, maybe not at completely flat levels, but pretty good down to 30. The subs are taking over from 30 and filling in the space, but they're also able to balance out my room nodes because they're not in the same location as the sound staging and imaging. The symmetry of a sound staging and imaging in a space isn't the same as what your bass frequencies want to do. Anybody with subwoofers or any towers or whatever, they're going to tell you that the bass is always a little funky in some areas because the room boundaries really indicate which frequencies are going to couple or cancel. So every room has got nodes, and I feel like having the bookshelves and then the subs in different locations really gives you the opportunity to like tune your bass nodes and figure out where the best response is in the room. You can set up the bookshelves for their best performance, and if the bass isn't exactly how you like it, then you find some capable subwoofers to go along with the bookshelves, and then no problem. The benefit of towers is their overall SPL output and their scale of sound. Like, these Radiant acoustics are only 85 dB sensitive. 85. The Arundel Towers are 7 dB more sensitive. That's more than 2.5 times louder per watt. Think about that for a second. You need 2.5 times more watts to get the same power out of the Clarity 6.2s as those Arundel Towers. That's 4 8-inch woofers doing bass and 2 of them doing mid-range, plus a waveguide tweeter. It's a really sensitive, amazing speaker for the price. And they're almost the same price as the bookshelves, believe it or not. Those towers are roughly $4,600 US, I think, around there, maybe 49 now after the price increase. The Clarity 6.2s, these bookshelves almost cost the same as these towers. Which one would you have? See, that's a big question. If people look at price and performance, they want to think value and how much you're getting out of it. But then when I did my bookshelf review, these Monolith Encores can do 70% of those. And they're, hold on. I think they're 16 times less expensive. per pair. These Monolith Encores are roughly maybe 500 a pair. So 5 a pair times 2 into 1,000 times 5. You see, there you know what I mean? Like, you're getting 70% for like 16 times the cost. It's at some point you have to think about what you're getting and think about how much it matters, how much those finer deep. For a lot of people out there that are just looking for good sound and they're not going to crank it very, very loud, those Monolith Encores or SVS speakers are more than enough for most people. If you're looking for 70% of the hi-fi, then for 80% or 70% of the people, the SVS and Monolith are fine. But, and I'm going to be really honest about what hi-fi means, if you really, really, really want to dig into the highest frequency details, spacing, depth, a kind of clarity and articulation in the sound and recordings that are just beyond that last 20%, or even that like you go from 80 to 90% in some of these mid-fi things. That last 10% at the top, you're talking into the next echelon of like tens of thousands of dollars of stuff. That includes DACs, amps, cables. It all really makes a small difference. But you're really only talking about small percents. Are you willing to spend 10,000 to get 1 more percent change? I don't think so. I'm not. Most people aren't. And that's fine. Let the people with the money spend their money. But I mean, the reality is, you can get most of those sounds. Like I said, these towers are like 40, let's call it 4,800. These are $4,800 US, $4,600 US. So this costs as much as this. You see what I'm getting at? It's a give or take a little bit, but they're about the same. You spend another $500 for the towers? They are not the same animal, I will tell you that much. AMT Tweeter has a different character, and that Purify woofer does better mid-range and low bass than the tower does. The tower's range, this is rated to 35 hertz. This is rated to 35 hertz. This will do 35 hertz at SPL with lower distortion than all of this. This has 4 times the amount of error possible. This only has 1. It's not exactly a 1-to-1, and I guess I'm sort of drawing at straws there, but it's a thing, you know. Price to performance is a really big consideration, and I want to speak very clear about that and why I did my sound demo in room and comparing all the speakers. Like, why would I compare this $250 a pair Canto speakers to $4,700, $4,900 bookshelves? Why would I compare these and those to those? Most people would say that that's not fair. Well, no, but it gives you an idea of like how much you can get from these or these that these also do, but you're talking about that last little bit. I mean, even the KEF R3 Metas came in and like price for for performance, KEF R3s are absolutely ridiculous value. The Bucard Audio have a different kind of benefit. Self-powered, purify woofer, same woofer, but different design as these. You know, that's why audio is such a personal journey, because nobody else can tell you what it sounds like, really. Only you have the sound curve, you know? That's the truth of it. And anybody that's doing like reviews, demos, testing, showing charts, results, they're only trying to help you understand, or help the audience understand, how much and like what these things mean and how they all play a role in the final sound. Like, no one can tell you what they are going to sound like to you, because one, they don't have your room, and your room is going to cause 50% of the sound. So that's a big thing there. You got to take it all with a grain of salt. And I want to make that transparent about what I'm doing, because I'm aware. I know that there's issues. But I mean, maybe there's something else that you want to talk about. Like one of the reviews I read, Aaron's Audio Corner, talked about there being a resonance that showed up in the measurements. It was an anomaly, and the company reached out and they had said that, you know, the back plate on the speakers could have been loose. I've checked mine are fine. But sometimes there's other things you want to talk about. Like, for instance, the fact that these speakers don't have binding posts. It's just plugs. It's not like, hold on, I have to shorten up my tripod to get this shot. Bear with me a minute. Okay, so it's not like binding posts like this. Binding posts where you can put spades, banana plugs, like all that kind of thing. The Radiant Acoustics just has inserts for banana plugs. There's no other options. I mean, that's a nice backplate for maybe a powered version eventually. That would be really cool. But things like that in a demo, like, they don't talk about it. But yeah, there's no binding posts. It's basically just inserts. Big difference. Also, the surrounds for the surround material here, like when I'm touching it, I've got to clean it constantly. And if I touch the waveguide on the horn, like you can see, like there's fingerprints there from my fingers. Stuff like that is not in the sound, but like maybe people want to know about how that works. It's the same thing with the Arundels. The Arundel tower, for whatever reason, right around the magnetic points, I noticed after a while some of the dust like sticks to where the magnets are. I don't know why. I guess there must be a lot of metal in the dust in my room. I just, you know, like when everybody is saying their piece and their reviews and talking about products, there's so many different angles and things to talk about. I think that everybody's point of view is valid. There, see, you can see it on camera. You can see my fingerprints are on the waveguide. Been trying to figure out how to clean them off, but I'm not really sure how to do that. It's just a result of the plastic. So yeah, I think that these have an incredible sound to them. I love them. Bucard Audios were an incredible surprise to me. KEF R3s as well. They have such an incredible sound. And for a three-way with the kind of dispersion that they have, tested and true, they're really good speakers. I think all of them provide something for someone. I think the KEFs are really tight and articulate, but they don't go very deep. The three-way design creates a type of soundstage that's very cool. I know that the Bucard Audio has the DSP that allows people to change up the sound if they want, so that's really neat. It just, you know, it's all in what you're looking for. I think if at the end of the day you want a type of sound, you literally have to go out and find it, because like I said, not myself nor any other reviewer is going to be able to tell you what it sounds like unless you demonstrate or listen to it at home. Your own room, your own amps on your own gear with your own ears is the only real judge of what this stuff does. Now, if you're really good at referencing what someone says versus what you hear, and you can make a good enough, reliable, and predictable correlation between, say, what I say or my taste and or like what Aaron says or Audioholic says or Andrew Robinson says or Jay-Z Augie or any of these guys that report on things, and then you go and listen and you get used to how like whatever they say is more your taste. You can build a reference that way, but you still have to build that reference. You have to get out and listen to them and verify what that reference point is. So there's a good enough correlation there that you can guess. That's how I ended up with the Arundel Towers. Enough people said that they perform well and they sound good and they have this certain character, and I got them home and I fucking love them. I mean, all these speakers have a character, and I really love what the Towers do because they present everything that I wanted. There's a number of brands that I've been flirting with the last little while. Some people may know that I had a demo pair in-house that had to get sent back at one point. Now, I don't have those anymore, and I don't know if I'm going to get them in again. But that's what the comparisons are for. If I'm able to listen and demo them at home, then I can tell you reliably, or at least consistently with my own ears, what I'm hearing. And yes, one of my viewers a while ago asked me if I did my hearing test. And yes, I did my hearing test. My hearing test is all flat. It's either 0 or -5 below the threshold. So I have perfect hearing all the way out to 10K, even 15K I have flat hearing. So I'm reporting on what I'm hearing with good ears. I've verified it. I don't have the test results to share because I don't know, the clinic didn't give me them, or maybe I was supposed to pay for them and that's why I don't have them. But anyways, I did do that. I did double check. So my ears are perfect. I can hear all the way out to the ends. So it is what it is. You know, it's like, who do you trust? How do you build your references? And how to understand what the data and what the reports and what the subjectivity and what people are saying, how to translate it for your own use. Because I know that a lot of friends and a lot of viewers are saying things about my room and demos and recordings and, oh, you're not supposed to feel the bass in the floor, that's poor isolation. And yeah, but like, you don't know what the floor is made of or how it was made, or maybe it's a really poor subfloor. It's not all cut and dry. You can't just look at a video and listen to something or read some words and then know everything right away. That's not possible. To act and speak like you know all the details from watching a video is a bit arrogant, if I'm going to be honest, because we don't know. The best thing to do is ask questions and then figure it out, because anything else is just assuming things. It's not as productive. Asking questions for details is more important than assuming or stating certain facts. What are we at? 43 minutes. Anything else going on? Anybody want to say anything before I get going here tonight? I'll give you the opportunity to give some feedback or reflect on anything that I've said. Again, I haven't had anything really new in the room. I had some room treatments that I wanted to do. Isoacoustics have got to be in place pretty soon. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that, but yeah, I'm going to work out some of these demos and details in the next little while. If I can't do them here, I'm going to negotiate some sort of change or whatever. If I have to give up some more space in the room, then I'll figure that out and we'll work out a space, maybe move it in the other space for a while. I wanted to redo my theater anyways. The real big problem is I don't have a surround sound receiver right now. So I'm about to ask like the Denon and Marantz people at Massimo if I can work out some sort of a deal that shows for like a year in trade for a unit, because I don't have any surround sound. All my gaming, all my movies, all the speakers in the room, nothing. I'm using the TV for sound. It's pretty sad. I had to sell the receiver because I had to pay some bills. That's the truth. It came down to that situation in the summer where it just wasn't working, and I fell pretty far behind. So I had to make a choice and sell the unit, and just never got a new one. So is what it is. Do I sell some of the speakers to afford the surround sound? And do I work out a deal to keep some of these other speakers, like the Bucarts or the Clarities? Do I keep? Well, I mean, the SVS subs are staying. So, you know what I mean? Like that's. There's some things that I can do there. I'm still working it out, but I would rather work more and keep everything. So we'll see what happens. I guess chat's really slowed down. There's not really anybody else saying much. So I appreciate everybody who's come to watch and say hello. Scat to Scott and Cat. Scat. That was terrible. That's ironic in another way, and I'm not going to talk about it. But that's funny. Mirage Bryson for joining, as always. Thank you for being supportive and showing up. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Please, there are a number of videos already online about the Clarity 6.2s. You can hear all about them in my videos, the demos, the comparisons, all the speakers that I have, as well as another follow-up that I'm going to post after this, so please watch out for that. If you're not familiar with the channel and you're just joining or seeing anything now, please watch at least the last 5 videos to get caught up with what's happening presently. I've seen comments and mention of things in comments as if I'm not like as deep into audio as everyone else. I watch just about everything that people post constantly, and I've made reference to certain things in previous videos or newer videos. So if you have a question and you haven't watched the recent videos, please watch them before asking, because maybe that answer has already been handled, and I really don't like making people repeat themselves, so I'd really appreciate if people didn't make me repeat myself. Fair enough? Thumbs up on the video if you agree to that, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Like I said, one video being posted after this one, and then tomorrow being Sunday, I'll see what else I can record tomorrow. There might be a couple of other things, maybe some music choices, music video, music scrolling video. I haven't gone through my release radar or music discovery list this week, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I appreciate you. I'm glad I have friends in hi-fi that like what I'm doing and show their support end over end, week over week, day over day. I appreciate you very much. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for supporting me here. And like I said, I've got a bunch of other videos on this stuff, so go watch those. Not for clickbait, not because I'm trying to get my views up. That's not the point. I want you to be informed on new things, and it's all in the videos. So that's why I'm suggesting that. All right. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great Saturday night, Sunday. Enjoy yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Keep your loved ones close. Keep your friends close. Keep a sharp eye on your enemies. And I'll see you in the future.